now,
Yes.
every single money that exists in every single pocket.
Oh, like every single coin and everything, yeah.
Everything. Everything. I'm talking about Karaga, everything. If you could have everything, which is not enough for everybody, unfortunately, it's just not. If you do calculations, you would realize that it's really not. But what I want to say is that would you burn it all, or would you try to still keep it around?
I mean,
Because if you burn it all, then what? Let's go from beginning, bro. I was
that's a
thinking
really good
about that.
question, but the problem with that is, uh, it really depends on your situation because, like, you know, like, am I like Goku and no one can fucking hurt me? You know,
I mean,
like, it depends on a lot of factors.
that's what I'm saying. It's enough to say if you had the possibility and power to have all the money right now in the
Oh, good
world,
God.
you. I'm not talking about like greedy you, ego you. I'm talking about like real us when we are like chilling and hanging out and just doing nothing. Like same person like that, you know?
So, like, what would I want to happen with real world monies? You're saying if I had all of it?
Yeah, true. Like, would you want to? Like, I'm not talking about like you making a decision of what's gonna happen with the world, or like you being a president or a
Okay.
king or a fucking financial advisor. I'm just saying, if you had all the money in the world, you somehow found the fucking thing where you can grab everything. Like, do you think that it would help a world to
You mean like,
remove all the
would I
money?
help the world? Is what you're asking me?
Yeah, if you would remove all that money.
Oh,
Because if
like
you're
if I
saving them,
removed, would
that's the
that help the
point.
world?
Yes,
Uh,
because if you save all the money, you cannot hang out with any of your friends or you cannot do anything. Nobody has money. And
no, like
everybody,
if you
everything
keep the
costs.
money, there's well, basically keeping all the money or destroying all the money is the same thing.
Not really, because if you use that money that you kept, then
Well,
it's
you
not the
can't
same.
use it if how to explain that? Like if you have all the
It's
money,
nobody, yeah. Yeah, you can use it. It's done.
yeah.
It's done. So you would burn it. There is no value in it anymore.
Well, what would realistically probably happen though is that like they'd just print fucking more money.
And
But like they'd
absolutely, yeah.
make a new basically currency and it'd be like, oh, that one isn't like used anymore, you know? It's like fuck that
Yeah.
easy guy, you know? Like who's he? But I don't know. Like realistically, if I could burn money and like make something new, it depends. Like if I had a really good idea, like I think it can definitely be better. But I don't think the problem is the money. I think the problem is like, yeah, paper doesn't have value. I agree with you, Shamzode. Uh, but like what I'm saying is like I don't think the money is the problem. I think the way that like I mean the system is the problem. It's literally like the way you earn money.
Yeah. I think the laziness is the problem.
I mean it's laziness too, but like if you think about it, like what's work today?
Like, for example, Karaga, look at this.
Okay.
Laziness. Somebody has a lot of gold in their pocket, and instead of actually running to the dungeon and trading something for another materials for their engineering or anything, they just use gold and fucking buy it. Teleport me here, 1 gold, here, go buy. See ya. Laziness. Same for money. That's how money came to existence. We
Yes,
were
but I
lazy,
don't agree
so
because of
made it.
one thing, which is like some countries have such low standards that like you can't compare it to others. So like,
Yeah.
you know, like if you're in some countries and you work like your entire life, you can't afford like something expensive in another country which like has really high ones, for example. Like that's the problem which I'm talking about. Like you don't have an actual opportunity to like in many countries and in general, like the money value today is made in such a way that like a tiny amount of people can actually like be really either like smart or hardworking or this and that and like earn a bunch. But like the majority of people, if they work hard, like what can you earn if you're like your whole life, for example, being like, I don't know, let's say a store clerk. You can never actually like get rich by it, no matter how hard you work. So that's the problem, because like in a way, it doesn't matter how good you are at your job. It's like some jobs, and that's the majority of jobs, are basically just like, you know, 8 to 12-hour shifts, which like in a way they're just nicer slavery if you think about it. You know, you're just being kept happy by being paid, but like you can never actually like get away with that job to like, you know, like switch to something else just by doing that. All you can do is maybe like save up to try to switch to something else or like develop a new skill, but like that's why they're called dead end jobs. Because sadly, like a lot of things, no matter how hard you work, it's fucked. It's like in WoW, you know, you can get stuck at like level 10, and if you're level 10 and just let's say you farm like something that's extremely inefficient. I don't know what, because like most fucking things nowadays, as you say, like sell because people are lazy. But like something just stupidly inefficient. Like it doesn't matter how much you do it, like it's still gonna be fucking stupid. Like it's much better if you get like a profession. Like even if you just kill boars and sell their meat, you're gonna earn a bunch. But like with some other shit, it's just a waste. So I don't know, that's my view on it. Yeah, exactly, Shaman. That's what Jivac and I talked about before. It's like the bottom of the pyramid and the top of the pyramid, and it's just formed in such a way that it doesn't at all support equal distribution. That's why I'm comparing it to slavery, because it's just a system that's made to make you
That's what
feel
I'm
like if you
saying.
work hard, it's good, but like you're just
You grab
basically.
all the money, you're on top of the pyramid, so you just fucking destroy the pyramids. And let's go from the beginning. We gotta trade. Money don't exist. They can print more, but until they print enough, we will have to help each other and actually become friends.
Yeah, but they print it in like fucking half a day. That's the problem.
No, they can't really print all the money for the world in half a day.
Well, they
You
can,
would fuck
because
up
like
the
we're not
world.
even
You
gonna
would
have
fuck them
money
up too.
soon. All is going into like fucking virtual currencies. Like what's the currently? Like currently there's like 3% of the money is even like physical, something like that. It's ridiculous. Like most of the money doesn't even exist. Like if everyone in the world right now wanted to get cash, 90 something percent would just end up without any money.
The world is on margin, bro.
Yep, literally.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
people are like, crypto's risky. Like, yeah, it
World is
is, but
risky.
like everything's fucking risky. And yes, I 100% agree with you, Shaman. Yes, the bottom is needed to maintain the top. That's exactly how slavery works. Without slaves, you can't be rich. Like, think about it. How can you be rich if everything is equal? Like, if you know, if we're all equal, if everyone has things, no one can be rich. Like, the whole definition of being rich isn't just like having things, like having enough for yourself. It's having more than others, because it's, you know, like, it's one thing to be like satisfied and have everything and be comfortable. That's one thing. But it's a very another like point of view if you're rich, because then people look at you like, oh, that guy's rich, that guy's famous, that guy's this and that. It's not just about money, it's about prestige as well. Being rich is kind of a title, like it was in medieval times, which we didn't move from that much. If you ask me, the biggest difference between like medieval times and today is education, because you're actually allowed to read and stuff, even though like with media and a bunch of other things they definitely try to dumb you down and still like make you not know how to read. But still, today you actually won't be burned on a stake if you read. So that's like the biggest upgrade we got. And we can thank technology for that, because the printing press was invented. Without the printing press, who the fuck knows? We'd still be fucking burning books. no idea when my group is. Yeah, me too. I can talk about these things all day, every day. Okay, does this bitch see me? This is conspiracy.
You should not be here.
But to an extent, just like not to beat on a dead horse. Like I understand what you were trying to say, Jivats. Like I agree with you in the sense that like you can see that in WoW and a lot of other stuff. People are also fucking lazy. It's not the only problem because like if you want to get rich, if you're capable and stuff, there is a way. It is hard for you if you're starting from the bottom. It definitely is. But like no matter what you do, it's much harder if you're not putting any effort. And people are not only dumb, but they're also fucking lazy. Also, do I need this? I don't think I do. I feel like agility is much better for me. Diseases? Also, I technically need to read more on the Twitch toss because I'm not sure how much is bannable here. But yeah, since no one's saying anything, I'll just need this thing and I'll figure it out after. But yeah, like... I don't actually know if I'm kind of allowed to talk about stuff like that, but overall, like, there are suspicious things is what I can say. Like, what I think is okay for me to say, if nothing else, is like, don't trust everything in the media because, like, what can you trust? Like, for starters, let's use the COVID thing. With COVID, it was like, okay, trust the doctors, trust this, trust that. Okay, but like, who's coming and talking about shit? It's the media, it's not the doctors. So like, even if you're supposed to trust the doctors, you're still actually listening to the media, not the doctors. And then the bigger part of it, and this isn't even a conspiracy, this is just pure logic. Like, I'm pretty sure like this is completely fine to talk about, but like, no matter what you do, no matter what you look at, like, you have to get back to the topic we were talking about, which is like, what runs the world and what runs the thing you're doing. So for example, okay, let's take doctors as the example and the media. Like, the media tells us what the doctors say. Now, who pays the media? Who controls the media? Who directs the media? Now, okay, you don't even have to think of it as a way of like, who pays them? Look at it this way, who runs them? Like, who's in charge of them? And it's the same thing as the doctors. Like, who's in charge of hospitals? Is it a doctor? Or are they a business today? And when you realize they're a business, it doesn't even matter anymore that it's about money. What matters is that, like, you can understand that, like, the people in charge are not necessarily doctors, they're businessmen.
Not enough energy. I can't do that yet. I don't have energy.
And that's basically every aspect of society today. So, yeah, like, trust this, trust that. Like, in the end, you can't trust anything except for research. And what is research? It's also paid by someone. So you have to also know how to filter the research so you can understand what the fuck it's about. And to understand that, you need to be educated and also taking time to see, like, I mean, it's like, yeah, if you want to learn shit, it takes time.
I need a target.
And still, in the end, you can't know. Most of the time, you can just have an educated guess. Like, I'm really not trying to, like, you know, like, make any conspiracy theories. All I'm saying is, like, things are fucking weird. No, but that's the way it's supposed to be. It's not even about modern society. Like, that's the beginning of wisdom. That's literally Socrates 2000 years ago. That's also Game of Thrones. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Like, the beginning of wisdom is understanding the lack of your knowledge. Because the way you should look at knowledge isn't like, oh, I know. Because, like, to know, there's so many factors to actually, like, be sure of something. Like, okay, how do you know something? Let's think of it this way philosophically. Do you know because your intuition told you? Do you know because, like, you logically understand it? Do you know because, like, you can feel it in your gut? Or do you know when it's, like, all of them combined? And what if, like, there's a fourth thing that you forgot? Or, like, you don't actually know it even exists? Like, or we haven't defined it. Point is, it's extremely hard to know something because, like, we have to be aware, first of all, of, like, what the fuck is happening. And it's super hard to be aware of everything, it's almost impossible. So, the way I look at, like, knowledge and similar things, you should view things as, like, what percentage am I, like, how much am I sure of this? Like, you can never really be sure. You kinda can, but, like, yeah, you shouldn't really allow yourself the privilege to think that you can. So, like, how certain are you in that thing? You know, and you don't even have to think of it for, like, it might sound crazy, but, like, it's healthy to be somewhat paranoid about everything, because that way you can actually be sane. Like, everything else is kind of being delusional. Like, let's say you have, like, a wife or a girlfriend or whatever. Like, are you 100% sure? Like, you can be, but I'm saying, like, especially when you meet someone new, you know, like, if you're instantly like, oh, like, this is great, this is this, this is that. Like, you have to have some type of, like, control where it's like, okay, like, I'm kinda, like, 99.99% sure. And that's fine, you don't have to have that last percentage. Like, you need to understand that not everything is under your control and still be willing to risk things. That's how I view things. Like, I feel like it's really healthy to not be in full control. Because you can't know. And when you do, it's great, but, like, you have to let go of control when you can't. It's great to try, though. But yeah, at some point you have to just be satisfied with the current knowledge until you get more data, at least.
Not enough energy. I don't have energy. Far away.
So yeah, basically what I'm saying is it's cool to try to learn new things. Just, like, it doesn't matter, it's not just, like, the world conspiracy and everything. Like, we take for granted too much of, like, how everything is known, everything is discovered. Nothing is discovered. Like, we learn things on a shallow level. Like, I love the... I don't know where I heard that from, but I really love that, the explanation of, like, how when we're kids, for example, you hear, well, let's say you see a tree, something like that, or you see a bird. That's how I remember, at least, the first time I heard that. But, like, you see a bird or a tree, and you're fascinated by it, and you want to look at it, and you want to admire it, and you want to figure out what the fuck it is. And it's, like, a really deep, meaningful thing to you. It's like a tree. Like, it's something new. And then, as you, for example, ask your parents, what is that? And they say tree, it's a tree, and they explain it in some way. You basically put that in a sort of folder in your head and label it tree. So, after that point, most of the time what happens to people is that, like, it's labeled as a discovered thing, which is a tree, and it's not that interesting anymore, because, like, now it's an understandable thing, which is a tree. Like, it's... you understand it, it's a tree, you don't care anymore. and you don't look at it with amazement and learn more things about it, which is fine because like you don't want to get stuck on like just something like a tree your whole life. But the point is, you still want to learn things, and we destroy that childlike curiosity which actually enables learning by just labeling things and leaving it at that. So that's the thing, like you don't know everything about a tree just because you know what it's called and you've seen it 1,000 times. It's like being an expert at walking. You can walk, all of us can walk, but some people walk better than others. Some people fucking are prone to falling. Kind of common, like often. So yeah, like you don't actually master anything. That's the same thing with knowledge. Like not to the level of perfection. So it's a process. It's just about like figuring out what you care about and what you don't care that much about. Like you wanna, you know, like put all your effort and focus into being the best person at walking. That can be a thing. Hope the rant didn't get too serious. But yeah, you got me started. And since I didn't get much sleep, when you get me started like that, I can just keep going. But yeah, that's at least the way I look at things. Like, it's really hard to actually know. But that doesn't mean like you should assume you don't know anything. Like you should go with like, okay, like chances of me not knowing that are really slim, so like I'm gonna go with the assumption that that's probably true. Like what you're saying about the media and stuff, Shaman. I get what you mean. Does that make any sense? Wait though. Wait though, wait though.